What if I told you, ladies and gentlemen, that the most explosive fight of the year took place in a hospital room instead of a boxing ring? The main event, Claressa Shields versus Remy Ma, featured four nurses screaming, "You stole him!" As the soundtrack? Yes, you heard correctly in what may have been the most insane moment in hip-hop history. Leaked footage has surfaced that shows Claressa Shields storming into Remy Ma's hospital room, dragging her by the wrist and accusing her on camera of stealing papoose. Did I also mention that Remy Ma was hooked up to a heart monitor? Pushed Claressa over the edge. What secret was Remy hiding, even on her hospital bed? Why did security stand motionless while the fight broke out in front of patients? Nurses and a wide-eyed janitor who now has 200K followers on TikTok? The footage is out, and it's much worse than anyone could have imagined. Ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn and blood pressure monitor, because what we're about to show could blow up the internet. Imagine a dimly lit hospital room with machines beeping and a woman lying weak on a bed connected to IVs. She's Remy Ma, and just outside that clean room, Claressa Shields is charging down the corridor like a natural force. Her fists aren't gloved, but her anger is louder than any title battle she's ever entered. And it's 2:47 a.m. A hooded figure ducks past a distracted nurse in Mount C's private wing. A cart crashes, alarms flash briefly before being silenced, and security is nowhere to be found because what was about to happen couldn't be stopped, not by professionalism, not by policies, and most definitely not by a front desk with a clipboard or a front desk with Claressa Shields entered. Claressa had just received confirmation, screenshots, voice notes, and all 9 direct proofs that Papoose had been visiting Remy Ma behind closed doors. Not just once, but with the intention of being romantically intimate. With the energy of a woman who had just had everything stolen and was there to take it back. According to inside sources, Claressa wasn't built to remain silent. She had supported Papoose for months while he grieved publicly, even during the rebuilding phase of therapy and when he sobbed on that bet segment. Now that Remy was weak and silent and hooked up to hospital tubes, Claressa marched in with a fiery voice and a sense of betrayal in her heart. What happened next was captured on a nurse's personal phone because, let's face it, if there is drama, someone will record it. Claressa didn't think twice. She walked straight up to Remy's bedside, leaned over her with deadly eyes, and yelled the words that would send the internet into a tailspin. Even in this bed, Remy Ma's eyes were heavy. She didn't say a word. A monitor beeped quickly. A nurse gasped, but Claressa persisted. "Never out of your system, huh?" She yelled, "All those nights I sat with him and he was texting you under the covers." Now, let that sink in. You're lying in a hospital bed in the middle of treatment, and your ex-man's new woman is accusing you of emotional warfare while you're literally hooked to heart monitors. Viewers who saw the leaked footage said the energy was unlike anything they'd ever seen. Claressa dragged Remy with her words, verbally, emotionally, and spiritually. This wasn't a fight, but rather an emotional exorcism. And the worst part was that Remy didn't defend herself, didn't fight back. One nurse who saw it said, "It was like watching a ghost realize it had been caught haunting the wrong house." Remy appeared to have been waiting for this to happen, as if she knew she would eventually have to face Claressa. But why did Claressa get upset now? Apparently, what she saw that night wasn't just romantic. It was symbolic. Papoose had been at the hospital earlier, leaving just an hour before Claressa's arrival. But while there, he had done more than just hold Remy's hand. Remy reached up and touched his face, and that small, silent gesture was the catalyst because Claressa received the footage within minutes. Someone from inside said it, but she lost it and showed up. Now, Twitter is split into factions, with #Team Claressa claiming that she was right to confront Remy, arguing that loyalty matters and that you don't get to play victim when you're the villain in someone else's story. Meanwhile, #Justice for Remy is trending as well, arguing that she didn't deserve to be ambushed in a hospital room, something that nobody does. Papooses' silence on the radio and the drama only served to stoke the flames. His last public post was a mysterious tweet 2 days prior to the incident. Some truths don't require explanations. Just wait and see. Some claim it was a warning, while others believe he knew Claressa was about to find out. Regardless, he hasn't denied visiting Remy, and this isn't the first time Ray has been accused of manipulating emotions. In 2022, for example, rumors surfaced about her involvement with Easy, the block captain. She dismissed it at the time, but now fans are unearthing old interviews and year-old GIFs. One particularly damning clip from a 2023 red carpet interview has surfaced, in which Remy was asked if she believed in unfinished love. She responded, "I believe in unfinished business. Love is just the excuse we use." If you've read that again, was this for Remy, or was she playing the long game, waiting until Claressa got comfortable before reclaiming her man? Or were Remy and Papoose genuinely fated to be reunited during life's most trying times? Love can be messy and ugly, but love, as we know, this can also lead to a full-fledged verbal altercation in a hospital suite. As Claressa left the room with guards by her side, still yelling, "Tell the world the truth." The nurses weren't the only ones stunned. Remy's monitor briefly stopped working, but it was enough to send nurses running. The cameras were turned off, but not before one last whisper was picked up, allegedly from Remy Ma, who was breathless, weak, and hardly audible. Ladies and gentlemen, that's where this story really starts. Less than 12 hours after the hospital confrontation, Claressa Shields broke her silence. She went live on Instagram with a bare hoodie up, no filters, and no glam. For a brief moment, the world expected an apology, a moment of reflection, and perhaps even regret for what they had done. Ma's hospital bed, like a confession to the universe, sent shockwaves across every corner of social media. Within minutes of the leaked hospital footage dropping on Twitter timelines, combusted TikTok creators launched instant deep dives. And podcasts were already scheduling emergency episodes. God instead was a verbal nuke. "I don't regret a damn thing. Claressa started staring straight into the camera when I entered the hospital room because the truth deserves to be heard. You guys want to act like Remy is the victim, but she's been playing chess with people's hearts. So I flipped the board and millions more watched that live stream in real time." Claressa claimed that she had been gaslighted by both Papoose and Remy for months. At first, she even stood up for Remy against resentful fans and barbershop rumors. But when she saw the security footage of Remy and Papoose, she changed her mind. "You don't confront a sick woman," she said. "You pray for her. You support your man as he visits until you realize he isn't praying, he's reconnecting." Claressa wasn't finished, though, as she held up her phone during the live stream and played a voice note purportedly from Papoose whispering, "Don't be mad. It's not like I don't love you. Need to make peace with her before it's too late." The audience erupted in the comment sections. Went into meltdown, fans were tagging the Shade Room like the FBI, and by morning, it was impossible to ignore. The headlines: Claressa Shields reveals Papoose's final farewell to Remy Ma. Remy used her illness as a weapon to win Papoose back. And leaked voice notes led to accusations of cheating in a hospital drama. Now, let's talk damage control. Remy Ma's camp went into immediate lockdown, and her publicist issued a sterile statement claiming she was focused on her recuperation and that private matters were being handled offline. However, fans weren't buying it, especially after Fat Joe unfollowed her. Fans always notice that unfollow button. And then Ebro posted a mysterious tweet that said, "Real love doesn't need a mic check." Papoose remained silent, posting no tweets or reposts. But an old photo of him and Remy from 2017 reappeared on his Instagram story with no caption or tag, just vibes and confusion. But this is where things get really complicated. A former Mount Sinai nurse came forward anonymously and contacted an independent gossip blog with actual security reports. The documents were timestamped and dated. And they confirmed that Remy Ma's visitor list was altered 3 times. Asterisk people are wondering what was in that envelope. Was it legal paperwork, a final will, or was it connected to a secret project? Like that unreleased Remy McKissery's project called Resurrection, The Queen Returns. Insider, the production is currently on indefinite hold because the footage they took, which includes Remy's hospital scenes, may now be evidence of what fans are calling the most disrespectful love triangle in hip-hop history. Meanwhile, Claressa's supporters aren't letting go away. A trending petition called #ProtectClaressa has already amassed 150,000 signatures, demanding transparency from the hospital, Ree's team, and even Papoose himself. Fans want to know if Papoose was emotionally cheating, whether Remy used sympathy for his own gain, and whether Claressa did the right thing or went too far. A screenshot of a group chat called Bounce Back Plan, which featured Remy, her manager, and an unidentified third contact, was leaked by an anonymous source who claimed to be inside Remy's management team. The message said, "Let her come. It'll sell the story." Let her come, as in Claressa, as in the hospital confrontation was planned. Viewers are now speculating that Remy wanted the moment captured on camera because she knew Claressa would show up, so she made sure someone was filming. This wasn't a woman caught off guard, though. Rather, it was a woman creating content in the midst of a medical emergency. As new videos of Remy wiping away silent tears during the confrontation go viral, people are beginning to wonder if she didn't deserve to be dragged like that while still healing. But even that is in doubt. Remy's career was in a strange place. The podcast features were cool, the music drops were inconsistent, and the public had started losing interest until now. Now she's the center of attention again, not just for drama, but also for survival, betrayal, pain, and power, according to an unconfirmed medical report. Remy Ma was being evaluated for mental exhaustion rather than a physical illness, which would have meant that she wasn't dying or close to passing away. However, she allowed a story to circulate that she was fading quickly, even leading fans to believe that Papoose was bidding him farewell. Now, the game completely changes. Was Claressa a villain, or the only person brave enough to reveal the script before it was released on Netflix? More importantly, is this the end? We recently learned that Claressa has scheduled a press conference and has promised full Claressa Shields wasn't bluffing. 2 days after the hospital fight, she entered her scheduled press conference with 2 lawyers, her boxing coach, and a media team. Claressa was dressed in all black with gold trim, and she was bringing screenshots, direct messages, and possibly even unreleased surveillance footage. Claressa stood behind the microphone, lifted her chin, and did what most celebrities avoid. At all costs, she brought the receipts. The press room fell silent as a large screen flickered on behind her. And the first slide showed a screenshot of a text from then. A short but clear video showed Papoose leaving Remy's hospital room at 1:41 a.m., kissing her hand and hugging her for almost 30 seconds while whispering something inaudible. The next clip, which was straight scandal fuel, showed Claressa pacing a hotel room just hours before the confrontation, screaming into a phone, "Nah, I don't care if she's sick." She was never supposed to win. She was never supposed to still be in the picture, audibly damning the room with gasps and murmurs. Ree's team was ready for this drama to unfold weeks ago. They had even planned podcast features to ride the wave. However, they didn't anticipate Claressa going nuclear to that level, with cameras flashing and Instagram comments flooded with snake emojis. Influencers who had just offended her 2 days prior started to backtrack because this wasn't just about heartbreak anymore, but about obsession. The real twist was that the clip wasn't secretly recorded. Instead, it was leaked by Remy's manager, according to a leaked email chain. Three factions are now swinging in different directions, each armed with receipts. Claressa, who claims she was gaslighted and publicly humiliated by a man she trusted and a woman she attempted to protect. Remy, who claims she was ambushed, manipulated, and used as a punching bag during a private medical crisis. Papoose, whose silence is now being interpreted as guilt, cowardice, or both. And guess who just entered the chat? 50, rage of confrontation. Derailed everything and made Remy appear weaker, victimized, and vulnerable, exactly the opposite of what she wanted for her public comeback. Sent? Yes, because if there's one thing 50 can't resist, it's getting involved in other people's problems. He took to Twitter and said, "You guys are fighting over Pap," like he dropped "Get rich or die trying." Calm down. I'm the only one with real classics. Classic 50. The shade wasn't lost, especially when he shared a follow-up photo of him. And Remy from an old award show with the caption, "She always had taste, just bad timing." The memes went viral immediately, the damage was extensive, and now legal teams are stepping in. It's a full-fledged legal battle, with courtroom cameras being requested and Netflix and Zeus Network already engaged in a bidding war for the investigation. The formal statement states that they are reviewing internal footage, reevaluating visitor security protocols, and cooperating fully with the investigation. Remy's lawyer has officially filed a defamation and harassment claim against Claressa. And guess what else? Claressa's lawyer is countersuing, claiming her client was lured into a hostile, emotionally manipulative environment by a public relations stunt intended to damage her reputation and incite violence. Documentary rights and somewhere in the shadows. Papoose hadn't spoken until late last night. He finally broke his silence with a raw, unfiltered video shot on a phone while sitting in his car, hoodie up. The atmosphere was broken, tired, and hurt. He stared into the camera and said, "I tried to do right by both of them. I failed. I failed Remy, I failed Claressa, and I failed myself." He went on. Remy wasn't supposed to die in a hospital bed with cameras at her. She didn't deserve that. And Claressa didn't deserve to be misled. But I didn't know how to stop the storm, so I stood in it. And now as the dust settles, here's what we're left with. Remy is reportedly recovering at a private facility far from New York and considering releasing a memoir titled Unfinished. Bars. She's also planning to relaunch her podcast with a full breakdown of her side of the story. "I'm drowning in it, but I still love them both. And I apologize that video hit 1 million views in an hour." Fans were divided. Some praised his honesty, while others denounced him for emotional cowardice. Claressa is taking a break from boxing, but according to rumors, she has signed a deal with a major streaming service to share her version of events, complete with unseen footage and journal entries. Papoose, on the other hand, has disappeared once more, leaving behind a playlist of breakup ballads and heartbreak hits. The first of which is, of course, Lauryn Hill's X Factor. The world waits because, deep down, we know that this isn't over. More clips will leak, more secrets will be revealed, and when they do, we will be here revealing every last line and hidden message you weren't supposed to, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we do. There's a hospital fight, a voicemail that was leaked, a press conference that went viral, and one man who is silent while everything around him burns. You think this drama ends here? You've obviously never subscribed to this celebrity tycoon. Because even though the cameras stop rolling, the secrets continue to leak. Was Claressa Shields the villain? Or was she just another heartbroken person in the public eye? Did Remy plan the entire thing as a media comeback? Or was she just a pawn in someone else's twisted game? Most importantly, where the hell is Papoose? If you're addicted to the tea, the twists, and the truth that they don't want you to know, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and turn on your notifications because at Celebrity Tycoon, we expose, not chase clouds. This scandal is still ongoing, and I promise you won't want to miss what comes next. We have more audio leaks being reviewed, new receipts coming in, and an exclusive source saying Remy's memoir exposes even more betrayal than we've seen so far.